everybody. It's Tuesday. I'm 2 for 2 for streams this week. Very exciting. It's so nice to have everyone here. It's so nice to see so many people picking right back up with the streams, even though we took a little bit of a break for the holidays. I really appreciate that. So we have another great group of stories to go over today. I don't know if Brandon Hummel is here from yesterday, but I'm working on that video he suggested, and it's taking a lot longer than I had anticipated. Some other stuff has come up. I'm still working on my stupid sleep schedule, but it's going to be a very busy end of the week. WandaVision, of course, is coming out. I've got a Batwoman review on the way. Lots of exciting stuff. Oh boy! I missed you too, Richard Curtis. You guys are so much fun. You guys are great. All right, phase 4 is about to begin. We're going to have a good time with that. We're going to have a very, very good time. The video that I'm working on, it's ranking the Marvel 2021 projects. Some Sophie's choices. Hey, James, friend. Oh, you can be my friend too, James. I don't know if that's your real last name, but that would be a great last name. I like that many of you can commiserate with the sleep schedule problems. Hey, William Rodriguez. Every night I'm like, I'm going to go to bed on time. And then I look at a story, or I decide to watch one more show, or I have to do a laundry. It's tough. All right. Let's see here. There's some cool press screenings coming up, though. I should have some good reviews coming up for you in the days ahead. All right, so let's go to these 3 stories, and then of course at the end of the stream, you can ask me anything that you would like for the final 10 minutes of the stream. That's the way these things work. Hey, Bruno Miranda Lancastra, nice to see ya. Oh, Bruno, I recognize you from Twitter. When you use the same picture here as you do on Twitter, it helps me to triangulate our relationship. I'm like, oh yeah, I interact with you here, I interact with you there. I love it. Hey, William Rodriguez, I don't think I gave you a shout out. That's a nice shirt. You look like you got like a headshot as your photo there. All right, so let's go to the 3 stories of the day. And then, of course, as always, you can ask me anything that you would like at the end. All right, story number 1. Boop. So, Netflix, I thought their announcement was a little underwhelming because they were like, stay tuned for tomorrow, we're going to do a big announcement. And I wish they had just dropped a ton of actual full trailers, to be honest with you. I think that would have been cooler. You know, like on Disney Investor Day, Marvel dropped like 4 trailers and it was like, whoa! That was a little bit problematic because I need to break those down. But for a Netflix movie, I don't need to break it down. So I could have just reacted all day to Netflix trailers and I would have been very happy. But they didn't do that. I was like, damn it! Instead, they kind of like released like this clip reel, you know, like they were like, here's some little itty bitty tidbits of things that we're going to release. And I have to say, it looked pretty good. Idris Elba's in 2 movies where he plays a cowboy. One, he plays like a legit cowboy, and the other, he plays like a modern day cowboy. That's right, Rodrigo. They were like, remember Woman in the Window? We still have it on a shelf somewhere. We're going to release it. So it's a 2021 sizzle. That's right, Boy Without a Parachute. That's a nicer way to put it. So it was a 2021 sizzle. And I do have to say that African-American Western that Idris Elba was in with Regina King, I believe it was, that looked damn good. I was like, that looks excellent. I can't wait to watch that. And a lot of the movies looked really good. Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead. Red Notice was very funny. I think that, hey, Destiny Ricks. Destiny, I know Destiny. We talk all the time. I always notice Destiny's comments on the videos. So I feel like I can already see a little bit of a conflict in the personalities between Ryan Reynolds and Dwayne Johnson because you have 2 alphas. And I hope that Gal Gadot doesn't get totally overwhelmed. But I think that she won't because she's the only woman in the group. But still, I was like, you could feel like the tension, and hopefully that'll translate to a really exciting movie. I think that the movies all looked excellent. But and also this comes on the heels of Netflix just announcing, for instance, that Kevin Hart just signed an Adam Sandler type deal with them where Kevin Hart's going to make a number of movies for them. And you would be like, Kevin Hart, you tripped, you fell on Netflix. But when you have your sizzle reel end with Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio, Netflix is looking pretty good these days. I mean, that was impressive. And I'm really glad that the hair and makeup team made Jennifer Lawrence and Leonardo DiCaprio look as different as they possibly could. That's right, that scatterbrain. Jonathan Majors is in that Western as well. That's going to be great. I'm such a big Jonathan Majors fan, as you know. But I thought that was good that they looked different. So you didn't have two blonde white people as the star of the movie. It looked a little bit better, I felt. I still feel like they should have done a little bit better in terms of the representation there. But I mean, like, Leonardo DiCaprio going to Netflix is a really, really big deal. That's like a huge deal. It was a very big deal. Although Jennifer Lawrence should feel great that they gave her equal weight in that shot. Perhaps even a little better. And I guess she was the first to sign on to that movie and it is technically hers. So the biggest thing was that they're going to have a movie every week. Every single week, there will be a movie on Netflix, which means they're feeling the heat from all these new streaming services, particularly Disney+. And Disney+, of course, did an incredible presentation on December 10th where they said, we're just going to have so much content, it's going to make you throw up, and you're going to love it. And I think that Netflix basically did the same thing. My concern is that this is a little bit too many movies. Netflix also benefits from the fact that they run absolutely no advertising for their content whatsoever. They don't have to put any junkets together. They don't really do a lot of stuff. I mean, they'll probably have these people do a little bit of press, but they're not big on press over at Netflix. So I'm curious as to like which of these movies will get some attention and which won't, and which will just totally fall away. I mean, I'm not sure. I'll be very curious to see which movies live or die on Netflix. They're truly going to be put into a gladiator arena. But were any of you in danger of like not going on Netflix? Were any of you even considering dropping your Netflix subscription? I have to wait for you to catch up to me. Oh, Keith has lost interest in Netflix. What? Yeah, like nobody really is thinking of dropping it. Like Netflix is the Coca-Cola of streaming. It's the de facto. It's a verb. Like it's a really big deal. I'm glad you're watching To Five Bloods tonight, Youngie. It's a great movie. So yeah, so I don't know why they feel like they had to flex their muscles this much, but they certainly flexed, and I'm excited for a number of these films. That means a lot of trailers. I'm hoping. We've had a little bit of a lack of trailers over the last week or so, and so I'm hoping, I forgot to turn my heat off, so I'm sorry, my heat's going to come on. But, it's going to be exciting to have all these trailers. So I'm excited. Disney Plus is Pepsi, Ari? That's hilarious. Disney Plus is the Pepsi of streaming. That's hilarious. I love that. That's so funny to me. The number one streaming show, it was, I'm going to cover it on Movie Math, but you guys just reminded me of it here. I'll mention it for a second here. It was a really interesting thing that was still the number one show. Hold on, let me find it. It might have been because, it was on Ozark. Ozark had more viewing as an original. Ozark was the most viewed original show of 2020. And I was like, no, why is there only one more season? Now, by the way, Ozark is so boss, it deserves that crown. Ozark deserves that crown. Marty Byrde is like a hero of mine. I'm like, hey, DN1213. I mean, I just love Marty Byrde. Marty Byrde would appreciate Movie Math. I just love the way I just think he's such a cool character. I love him. So I'm so happy to see getting that attention. Hi, Simon. All right, so that's the first story of the day. So get ready for a Netflix movie a week, which means a Netflix trailer reaction. And although I didn't review Pieces of a Woman, so hopefully they'll get some more exciting movies. All right, so that's the first story of the day. And if you haven't watched Ozark, you should get on that. Because as Kieran just said, it's incredible. The Swiftie, oh my God. Ozark to me is like Breaking Bad good. It's so good. Very similar type of situation too. All right, so that's the first story of the day. Second story of the day. Boop. All right, so the Indiana Jones is getting a video game from Bethesda Games. I'm not big in the video game space. I mostly cover Mortal Kombat because I covered Injustice. So I cover those games, and I'm starting to get more into the game space because games are starting to get more into other spaces. So I'm learning about the studios, and everybody decided to educate me today that Bethesda sucks. Everyone's reaction to that was, yeah, but it's Bethesda, Grace, and Bethesda's horrible. And I was like, interesting, good to know. Although nobody could get more embarrassed than Cyberpunk. Was Cyberpunk Bethesda? Cyberpunk apparently is so glitchy that it was removed from services. And I was like, that's glitchy. That's embarrassing. So, yeah, so that's what's going on with that. So Bethesda, everyone is like Bethesda, and it's like a subsidiary of Bethesda. Because I was like, what's written on that typewriter when they did the pan over the Indy's desk? Which I thought it looked more like his father's desk, to be honest with you. We all know that Indiana Jones's desk would be at his university. And so I feel like they're off to a little bit of a bad start. But it did get everybody in the mood for Indiana Jones, to the point that I actually put up a poll asking you what your favorite Indiana Jones movie is. And it's pretty close between Raiders and Last Crusade. Although I was really surprised that some people were like, hey man, I love Crystal Skull. And I'm like, are you like hate voting Crystal Skull? And you know, even if you are, it's like how some people like the prequels. And that ended up working out. So, and I did think that Cate Blanchett was a cool villain in Crystal Skull. It's too bad that things went so poorly otherwise. That's a horrible movie. I mean, it invented Nuke the Fridge. That was the new Jump the Shark. It was so stupid. But hey, 3 Studios. But still, I think it showed that there is still incredible interest in Indiana Jones. Like, huge interest in Indiana Jones. Even Harrison Ford still cares about Indiana Jones. When it comes to Han Solo, he's like, I don't care whoever takes over Han Solo. Do whatever you want. But he said, if I'm not Indiana Jones, they better kill him. Because I don't want anyone else to ever play the character, which I thought was hilarious. And I kind of agree with him. I don't want anyone else to be Indiana Jones. You could have somebody else be his son, maybe. Not Shia LaBeouf, but if they could get a better person to be his son who fits with that. I mean, who knew we would love Indiana Jones' father so much? I mean, I think Sean Connery was just so brilliantly cast. So I think Indiana Jones Jr., named after another family pet maybe, would be fantastic. And there, of course, is one. Hey, Dan Blaster. That's a great name. And you're like Florence Pugh. You and Florence Pugh could hang out together. So anyway, I think that this shows tremendous interest in the Indiana Jones brand. And there is one more movie coming up that they did announce. They did talk about it on Disney Investor Day. James Mangold, which we already knew is directing. I think he's a fabulous choice based off of Ford v. Ferrari alone, Ford versus Ferrari. And I'm very excited about that film. And Harrison Ford will be in it. I told you that I'd heard that they were thinking of doing flashbacks with a younger actor, and we'll see if they went with that script. They've been working on it for so long. They've been working on Indiana Jones for so long, who knows what the final product will look like. I just want Harrison Ford. I think that was part of the problem with Crystal Skull, that they were like, oh, I would love Sharon brought up, I would love for them to bring an older Short Round back. Especially with Asia such a big movie market, it would be great to do something like that. That would make me very happy. And yeah, I have to tell you, James Mangold, as Barbie Minaj just pointed out, he's very talented. I think that I trust James Mangold. You know, like, Ryan Coogler has to navigate a very difficult position over at for Black Panther 2. So I have tremendous faith that, you know, James Mangold, I have the same faith that James Mangold could navigate Indiana Jones, to be honest with you. But I mean, if they want to do something where they want to pass on the Indiana Jones mantle to someone else, don't do it in this movie. I want one last ride. That's very, very important to me. But I do think that this video game getting made, and Bethesda was like, who knows when it's coming out? I was like, is it coming out around when the movie releases? Hey, Bercy, right? Like, that's what I would think. I don't care if Harrison Ford is 80, Mika. It's called movie magic. I think they can get him to do great stuff. I'm not worried about it. But I think that if the video game is being done, that means they're really working hard to rev up the Indiana Jones brand because of the film. So just any movement in the franchise at all is exciting because it means Indiana Jones is back, baby. And I am so happy because I'm such a big Indiana Jones fan. When Sean Connery passed away, I went and decided to watch some Sean Connery movies again. And I watched Last Crusade, which I had such a great time watching again. I mean, that movie just holds up. You could watch that movie on a loop and it would not lose any luster. It's that well made. Hey, Random Gamer 77, you're the perfect time for this conversation. But I also watched Hunt for Red October, which I did not remember because I hadn't seen it in a very long time, and that was just so much fun as well. So Sean Connery, even though he maybe did some questionable stuff in real life, really made some iconic films. So I do think there's an Indiana Jones, a third Indiana Jones. I think there's a third Jones out there somewhere, but they haven't found him just yet. I wouldn't go with Chris Pratt. I think that Chris Pratt he's everywhere. He's done too much. And also he's a little problematic now. I think there's somebody else. I think there's someone else they could find. Someone's out there. They just have to do the work to find them. All right, so that's the second story of the day. Let's get to the third story. Hold on. Boom, baby. All right, so the third story of the day, speaking of Chris Pratt, his movie, The Tomorrow War, which was supposed to be released for Christmas, but now had been pushed, is now looking like it's going to go to streaming. Deadline reported today that The Tomorrow War has been screened to multiple streaming services, with Paramount, who loves to just sell everything, saying, hey, who wants to buy this? And I heard, and Deadline said that a lot of people want to buy it. That a lot of people said, this looks like it's valuable to me. Let's see how much it goes for. Paramount selling everything. They don't want to put anything on their own Paramount Plus streaming service for some reason. It's not Paramount Plus just yet. It's still CBS All Access. Maybe when they rebrand it, they'll be more willing to put their own content on it. But they just want money. I don't know if Netflix will buy it because Netflix already has 71 movies set for 2020. I mean, maybe they have like a couple that aren't. They didn't announce all 71 movies. So maybe some are placeholders for something they could pick up. But I do feel that, I don't know, I feel the feeling Tomorrow War, I hope it doesn't go to Apple because that means nobody will watch it. Like after you see Cherry, boy, Tom Holland fans are aggressive. Tom Holland stans. I'm like, whoa. But they're like birds of prey level aggressive. But once you see Cherry, you will understand why it went to Apple. Because I don't think any other streaming service would pay for it. I mean, the embargo doesn't lift until late February, but I don't think it's going to go good for that movie, to be honest with you. So I think Tomorrow War, it has Chris Pratt and Betty Gilpin from Glow, but also from The Hunt. So I think there's going to be a strong conservative bent to the fandom for that movie, and so that's how I would consider pitching it. I think that maybe Amazon. To me, I would put it on Amazon. I think that's the best place for it to go. Where do you think the Tomorrow War should go? I think it should go to Amazon. Bruno, they gave Cherry a screening so early for awards because the awards voting deadlines are before Cherry even comes out, I believe. No, Betty Gilpin isn't conservative, but she did play that character in The Hunt. Quibi? That's funny, Ari. Disney Plus. It's not going to go, it has to go to a streaming service that would buy something like that. So Amazon, Netflix, and Apple, I think, are really the main homes for it. Maybe Netflix will pick it up. It depends how much money they have. Netflix seems to have. Oh, that's interesting, Dre. I don't know about HBO Max. I don't know if they're in the business of buying somebody else's content. I don't know if Peacock is either. That's an interesting question. Can another streaming service buy some other studio's movie without making themselves look bad? What do you think? Do you think that, I mean, I don't think Disney has a very specific brand. It could go on Hulu, though. Hulu did buy Run, so it could go on Hulu. And Chris Pratt, of course, is Disney talent. But I think it would look bad for HBO Max to buy somebody else's film, another studio's film. What do you think? Rainbow Nomad agrees with me? Although Bruno feels that they can. So does Josh. I guess because HBO Max has HBO content, HBO Max isn't as strongly branded as Warner Brothers. That's right, Hulu also bought Palm Springs, John Camara, so it could go to Hulu. We'll see where it goes. And also, the other thing I want to know is how much does it go for? I want to know how much the Tomorrow War is worth. All right, so those are the three stories of the day. Hold on. Let me get rid of the marker. All right, it's 5:42. You can ask me anything you'd like until 5:52, and then I'll do a couple of shout-outs. I'm so sorry about the stupid heater. Chico, I'm going to make shrimp scampi tonight from scratch. I got a kit, but I'm going to actually cook shrimp, which I wasn't too happy about, to be honest with you. I was like, what's with this raw shrimp, man? Just give me some shrimp that's already cooked that I can just toss this sauce on. Mika, I'm not going to review Lockdown. I'm probably going to do a watch-along on Sunday night. Derek, best snack for WandaVision. Someone tweeted me about this earlier today, and I said TV dinner. Raphael, I will review Future State, but I have to review it once it's completed. There's a lot. I spent so much money today on Future State comics, and it's a lot of reading to do. Some of the art on it is horrible. I didn't buy Green Lantern because the artwork was so bad. I'm a big Jon Stewart fan, but I was like, that artwork is so horrible, and I'd already bought enough Future State comics, I was like, I'm good. Although, John Ridley's Batman, that was on fire. That was excellent. Great writing, fabulous art. I was really impressed with how that turned out. I didn't think it would turn out that well. What am I binging right now, Kieran? Tonight I'm going to watch Batwoman. I have the first 2 episodes. George Alexander says, Grace, do you think that No Time to Die will go to streaming with another pushback? No, because no one's willing to pay the amount that MGM wants for it. Although MGM, of course, now is also in danger of going out of business. Let's see. I don't think Bond should go to streaming. I think that would be a little embarrassing for Bond, to be honest with you. But, I mean, let's see. Storm King, Future State is not going to be the new DC, but I think that you have to look at what they could mine from it for the movies. That's what I think is important to look at, in my opinion. And if it sells well enough, it could continue as like an Elseworld story. And it is introducing some important new characters like, Yara Flor, the new Wonder Woman. Jamie, it was hard to think about what I think about the new Sparrow Academy because I felt that the actors were an interesting choice. But until we know what their powers are, it's a little hard to react. It's super X-Men-y. It's super, so this is the Brotherhood of Evil, Brotherhood of Mutants. I forget, they called themselves Evil, which was hilarious. The Evil Brotherhood of Mutants. They're like, yeah, we know we're evil. Get with it. Josh Loves Movies says, what are your thoughts on the Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar teaser trailer? That Jamie Dornan boy, I can't believe he did that movie. I think that Kristen Wiig is maybe leaning a little bit too much into her caricatures. I don't know what that's going to do for her career. And I don't really know. Hey, Angie Hurtado, I like your glasses. I don't really know if anyone is going to watch that. Does anyone here want to watch that movie? This is my Stormtrooper shirt. I'm on my break, my Stormtrooper break. Boy, it's going so fast. All right. Fan 4E is eating Skittles and Twizzlers for WandaVision. That's funny. Bruno says, any more tea on the Fantastic Four casting? Do you think Emily Blunt and John Krasinski are out of the picture? Yeah, I do think they're out of the picture. But that makes sense with all of other Marvel's castings. I think Marvel really tries to go for new talent that they can shape and mold. That's really been their MO. Except for like much older characters, like when they go with Michael Douglas or Michelle Pfeiffer. I hope they have bigger roles. I want more Michelle Pfeiffer in Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania. Chico, I'm not going to watch Sabrina. It's been too long. It came out at a really bad time. It was too long. Everybody said it was horrible. So unfortunately, I had to drop that. So that's unfortunate. Let's see here. Pastor Madeline says, what is your on time for going to bed? I would love it to be 11, but I think if I could just get to bed by midnight, I would be a happy camper. Read a little comics in bed. That was what I should do. Evan Moore says, Martian Manhunter is in the Snyder Cut. Everybody knows he's in the Snyder Cut. I know everybody's making a big deal about this today. He's in the Snyder Cut. He's definitely coming. Let's see here. Let's see. Keith says, is it true that Hawkeye will focus more on Kate Bishop than Clint Barton? I don't think that's true at all. I think it'll be like the comic book, where it was equal between the two of them. Jeremy Renner wouldn't agree to that. And I think that I think it's really important to bring up female characters, but I feel it's important not to bring down male characters as a result of that. Because it's just going to make people not like the female characters. Like, I know one of you recommended that maybe there should be a daughter for Indiana Jones. And as much as I would love that, I think that everybody would just completely revolt and it would be bad for everyone involved. So let's just I think Indiana Jones is a male-centric franchise, just like James Bond. And that's fine, because there are plenty of other female-centric franchises, especially now. So you can have really good, great supporting female characters in Bond and in Indiana Jones. And then you have great male supporting characters in the female-led films. And that's just the way it goes. ES says, are Justice League Dark and Green Lantern this year or next? Well, Green Lantern's supposed to film this year at the very least, and Justice League Dark doesn't even have a director. So Justice League Dark is in development. Let's see here. Dana O'Leary said, I decided to give Ted Lasso a try. I binged the whole thing. I knew you would, because it's short. It's half-hour episodes. And those half-hour episodes work too, to be fair. But it's a great show. I'm so glad you liked it too, Dane. It's an amazing show. Ari says, favorite film score of all time. I really like Blade Runner. Chariots of Fire, obviously, is iconic. I really liked even the Nick. I fall in. I also, anything John Williams did is pretty good. If you can recognize the score just right away from what it is, that's great. Toblerone Chic, that's funny, says, do you watch Drag Race? I do not watch Drag Race, but I am very honored to often be, included in that discussion. And I'm a big fan of RuPaul, and I think that I love the show. And I did really enjoy America's Next Top Model when that was on, and that's of course kind of like from the same space. Sean says, what trailers do you think we will get at the big game? Let's see. I think there's something to be said for being included in the Super Bowl. I think it does make a difference. And so I think we'll definitely get some great trailers, but I think it's a little too early to tell. And we still don't even know what movies are even coming out around then. So I think expect streaming to be the focus of trailers that are dropping on the Super Bowl. And I know a lot of people are saying Warner Brothers never advertises during the Super Bowl. Well, now they're owned by AT&T and they have to push HBO Max. So there are a lot of changes going on over at Warner Brothers. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of them, that they start advertising during the Super Bowl. Carlos, I will cover the AT&T Investor Day for sure. I don't think they're going to have trailers for AT&T Investor Day. I mean, let's see. AT&T has so much to cover. It's not like Warner Brothers has an Investor Day. That's the difference, and that's why I think that you do have a difference. I think AT&T and I think Warner Brothers will do more events like they did with DC Fandom if they're going to have something where they have a big presentation like that. Let's see here. Barbie Minaj says, favorite Zack Snyder film? I think Batman v Superman. I really loved that movie. I thought it was really beautiful. To this day, I thought the Martha thing was really interesting because I've read, for a long time, Batman and Superman comics, and I never made the connection their mothers had the same name. I never would have guessed that it would have been received that way. I think that sometimes you have to understand that people learn things that nobody would have seen coming. But once they do happen, I do think it's the responsibility of the filmmakers and creatives going forward to have learned that lesson. I think one important lesson is, where's your Baby Yoda moment with a streaming show? If you're going to do a streaming show after The Mandalorian Season 1, every first episode of a streaming show should have that moment where they go, oh my God, okay, I'm locked in. That needs to be done. And I also feel that after the Martha situation, every movie should look at everything and go, okay, can anything here be made fun of? Would anything here I would say the Martha moment is similar to naked Dr. Manhattan in the movie, which is interesting because in the movie, everyone made fun of it, but everybody really enjoyed the attraction when it was on, I guess because that was live action when you saw the nudity. When we saw the nudity on, and I guess it's the difference between Yahya Abdul-Mateen and poor Billy Crudup. But that's an interesting thing to think about, the differences of how it was received. Oh, it's 5:53. Okay, so now I'm going to do shout outs. And so don't ask many more questions because I won't answer them. But just tell me what you're doing, if you're eating anything, where you are, if you're working on anything, just so I can give you a little shout out. You guys are funny. I'm glad you liked my comparison. Keep it PG-13. All right, Bug is saying smothered pork chops for dinner. That sounds delicious. Matt is celebrating Taco Tuesday. Ooh, and laundry. I feel your pain, Matt. I'm trying to do less laundry. Sean Turner said, just applied for a film poster design job here in London. Oh, good luck, Sean. Break a leg. I hope you get it. Let's see here. Terry has said he's enjoying 2 McChicken sandwiches. Oh, I'm very jealous. I haven't had McDonald's in over a year. That's sad. All right. Dancing Dog 60 is getting ready to feed their anxious cat in Boston. Be careful. Madeline's having rosé and kimchi rice. That sounds lovely. Jose just finished some chicken tenders. You guys are eating good tonight. Lloyd Lester says, enjoying a relaxing day off from my work in Virginia. Oh, that's great. Eli also has a cat, Freddie. D. Thomas says, starting my skincare routine in Washington, D.C. Good for you. I've never had anyone write anything like that before for what they're doing, but I love it. That's fantastic. Carlos is rubbing it in, eating McNuggets, my favorite McDonald's food. Damn you, Carlos. What sauce? Let's see here. I go for the ranch. Good on chicken and fries. Let's see here. Kyle says, working on a pilot here in my LA apartment. Oh, that's wonderful. That's very exciting. Ramon is eating red curry and enjoying this 5 o'clock space that you carved out. Aw, good use of emojis there, Ramon. Let's see here. Leon is into the honey mustard sauce on McNuggets. You guys are crazy. Daniel wants barbecue sauce. I do. When I was growing up, I hated barbecue sauce, but I've come to love it. Let's see here. Ashley wants onion rings in Canada. Oh, I hear ya. I would like onion rings too. They're so delicious. Random Gamer 77 is in Malta relaxing from work as a journalism intern. Oh, that's great. That's so exciting. Good for you. Malta's beautiful. You're living a good life, Random Gamer. Carlos has ranch and barbecue. Oh, you're living the good life too, Carlos. Barbie Minaj is eating a seafood boil, lobster, shrimp, and crab in Detroit. Did you make it yourself, Barbie? That's amazing. ES says, I just watched Batman Solo the Dragon. Did that come out? Where? Somebody just asked me if they reviewed it. I have it down here that doesn't come out until the 26th. Where are you guys watching Batman Solo the Dragon? No wonder people are asking me if I was going to review it. Where are you guys watching it? God damn it. Where is it? Where are you watching it? Tell me. Tell me now. You see Arnold Schwarzenegger's thing got viewed 35 million times? Pretty good for something that's filmed in his living room or his study. That Conan sword was pretty cool, though. It's on HBO Max. Is that where it is? Let me check. God damn it. iTunes? It came out early? Well, I don't know if I'm going to review it now. Boo. Let's see. It did come out. Oh, it's available for rent on the 26th. Oh, that's garbage. That's hot garbage. All right. Did it come out today? Did Batman Soul of the Dragon come out today? Navy EMT is online for Smuggler's Run at Hollywood Studios. I'm jealous of you too. Oh, I wish I was in Disney World. Keith is eating a sub sandwich in Minnesota. That sounds delicious. Yeah, it came out today. All right, let me see what I can do. I'm very busy over the next few days. Damn it. I could have watched it last night. Let's see. Instead, I watched Shark Tank, which was delightful. Waffles says, about to watch One Night in Miami on Long Island. Good luck, Waffles. I couldn't get through it. Sith Rodriguez says, Grace needs some answers, peeps. That's funny. That's a cool name, Sith Rodriguez. Dana O'Leary says, making chicken tiki masala from scratch. What? That's amazing. The Platinum Diva says, almost going to bed. I work at 12 a.m. in Las Vegas. Oh, thanks for staying up, Platinum Diva. That's awesome, though. I bet you see some cool stuff. I love Vegas. And then says, Tinker Blue says, I'm a French student in the UK and procrastinating my essay if you can recommend anything to watch. Watch Ozark. If you've not seen Ozark, Tinker Blue, that's a great show. I love that. I highly recommend that. I like Ted Lasso. Go check out my top 10 TV shows of the year. I recommend, that's a good list of things to watch. Let's see here. Ivan says, I'm just in bed chilling with really cold weather in Mexico. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Stay warm. And Richard Curtis has got some hotel candies from about 2 years ago. I think they'll be fine. What kind of candy? I think it should hopefully be okay. That's funny. All right, everybody, I had a lovely time talking to you as always, and I'll see you tomorrow at around 5 p.m. All right, bye, everyone. Goodbye. Toodles.